So I was just thinking about this after watching The Boys Season 5, Episode 7, and just how bad it was. And I said in my last video that the most disappointing part of it to me was the show's mishandling of Homelander's character. But I think that perhaps the second most disappointing part to me of that episode, and one of the more disappointing things about the entirety of Season 5 itself, was the extreme misuse of Soulja Boy's character. I said in my video reacting to leaks from Episode 7 that if the leak about how Homelander chokes out Soulja Boy and puts him back into his tube because he plans to leave Homelander and go to Colombia for women and substances turns out to be true, it would just be so ridiculous and disappointing. And then it happened in Episode 7 almost exactly like the leak predicted. And to add fuel to the fire, the showrunner for The Boys has already confirmed that Episode 7 is the last time that we will be seeing Soulja Boy in this show, meaning that terribly executed and ill-conceived scene is effectively the conclusion to his arc in The Boys. Soulja Boy was one of the strongest parts of The Boys Season 3. His portrayal by Jensen Ackles was layered, powerful, meaningful. Now, Soulja Boy was still a despicable character, but he made sense. He was not self-contradictory. Viewers could actually sympathize with some of his motives, even while hating most of how his worldview went and the things that he did to accomplish objectives. I still recall how at the end of Season 4, this show's showrunner promised that the show would be bringing Soulja Boy back in Season 5, specifically to focus more on his father-son relationship with Homelander. Then Season 5 came along, and no lie, this was Soulja Boy's arc. He wakes up. He hates Homelander. He interrupts the show for 4 episodes out of the show's final 8 episodes to tease a Vought Rising spinoff show that we will not be getting for another year. He interrupts the show to do a Supernatural reunion with Jared Padalecki and Misha Collins. He loves Homelander. He's retconned through heavy-handed exposition into having an undying love for a Nazi who slept with both him and Homelander. He hates Homelander again. That retcon love leads him to still give Homelander Compound V1. He still hates Homelander. He gets choked and passes out within 3 seconds from lack of oxygen when this show directly implies, if not outrightly states, that he has a much higher physical resilience than that. He goes back into his stasis tube. That's his arc. Like, besides that one fight with Butcher in Episode 2, he has no more substantial interactions with Butcher. He has no further interactions with Ryan. Basically, everything deep or interesting about Soulja Boy is stripped away in favor of a running gag where he makes gay jokes every episode and drops lines that will only make sense when Vought Rising comes out next year. He's an absolute hypocrite because he wanted to unalive Butcher for backing out of their plan to unalive Homelander at the end of Season 3, but himself turns on Homelander what feels like every other scene he has in this season. His final confrontation with Homelander does not even include a fight of any sort. That at least would help make up some ground in his pitiful arc from this season. Maybe a Homelander Soulja Boy last fight where Homelander actually uses his new godlike powers derived from the Compound V1 to either kill or permanently neutralize Soulja Boy, but no. Soulja Boy just gets choked out like a pansy and barely even fights back. And on the one hand, I have a sneaking suspicion that the writers are indeed trying to play it so vanilla and so safe with Soulja Boy's exit because they want to leave the door open for either Vought Rising or another spin-off show to include him in the present or future timeline. But on the other hand, that's the exact problem that has defined the writing on The Boys all this season. This whole idea of using the show's final season to set up Vought Rising for next year. This deal where the show's writers basically checked out of their own show's last episodes because they're thinking about and planning for future untested spin-off content. But anyway, that's all I've got for now, and I just wanted to get that off my chest. Definitely sound off in the comments to let me know what you think. Are you as disappointed with Soulja Boy's arc, or rather the lack thereof in Season 5 of The Boys, or do you think I'm just overreacting? And when you're done sharing, don't forget to like and follow for more.